Everybody, welcome on back to the GPL recap here on the IPL stream. Coming up next, going to be seeing both the Singapore Sentinels and the Bangkok Titans once again, this time against each other. And we see, I'm still fascinated right now about the Titans' performance so early on in Season 2 as opposed to Season 1. And I'm impressed, but I want to see what they do against one of the big hitters of the league.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be cool to see what the Titans can do. That's the big question. We just saw the game earlier. They had won. SGS, they had won their game. SGS a little bit more confidently, or commanding of a lead with their game, but
extremely convincing.
Yeah, we'll be able to see. This is going to be big for them too, because both of these teams, are they both undefeated right now, or do the Titans have one loss coming into this game?
I think. I have to go look up.
Both,
I think the Titans may have one.
Okay, but regardless, it's off to a good start for whichever team wins this. If the Titans lose, if they have one loss already, then all of a sudden, rather than this being a good start to the season, then they're behind or about even, and that's I don't know. Just falling behind early can always be tough for morale. But we'll see what they can do here.
Yep.
Really strong team for the Titans as far as AoE damage is concerned. Like, that combo is just absurd. We've seen how OP Kha'Zix can be, but imagine Amumu into Cassiopeia, then Kha'Zix with the cleanup, able to just combo kills. That's really scary. SGS, on the other hand, they have a very tanky lineup, and it's also a very strong late game lineup, but it's all single target. It's not that same AoE, and the purpose is to protect the Vayne by putting pressure on the enemy team. So they're going to be so forwardly offensive that the Titans will potentially not have an opportunity to jump on Vayne with Kha'Zix.
This is very interesting. Neither team just yet seeing each other. There we go. SGS with the first sight onto skills. They get 3. Going back in University, you don't know all 5, but I think if you see 3 champs from one team all traveling together to pack for the level 1, it's pretty safe to say that the other 2 are not too far behind. But happy enough with a ward over by the blue, followed by a retreat back into their own jungle. But there is also a ward over on the tri-ramp placed there by the Titans.
There's also a ward that they're walking through right here in the top jungle, and I think that Zeri's, they might go for a blue pull, but we'll see where they start off NDD. It's pretty common to start off Amumu at red. It's very safe. It gives them a lot of damage early on. Skills walking over, just trying to see if he notices anyone. He's going to be heading down towards bottom lane, and they are pulling the blue. So they pull the blue, but SGS, they're not comfortable with that. They're not happy giving them the free blue. They're going to go for it.
They will be spotted at the very least.
It's going to be a 4v4.
There's going to be a 4v4. Just a moment, though. Can they kill it quick enough? Yes, they can. NDD stealing the blue with a little bit of help from his friends.
Yeah, and SGS, because they were a little bit slow to engage there, they are actually putting themselves a little bit behind. So Amumu's in a really good situation.
Nice.
There's the pull on Shai, gets some quick damage, forces the flash off. NVM is in complete control of that lane now.
Yeah, who says you need the jungler to come gank to blow summoners? His area is just making his long stroll back down to the bot lane. One casual pull on the rise. It's like, well, why not? Why not? Quick little playful play.
Cassiopeia already was always a good champion against Ryze. You use the range advantage and just slowly wear him down. So it's going to be interesting to see how Choi controls that lane.
So real quick, go back a step to the champion select. SGS did ban out for this game Twisted Fate, Zyra, and Shen. Titans banned out Lee Sin, Katarina, and Elise. Katarina, I think, after considering that last game, I mean, Katarina is just such a fantastic champ in the meta right now. You cannot risk having her anywhere. But Jarvan still popular as ever here in the Garena meta. Going in for Invade Harley, you're gonna have some fun. It's like, hey, you took my blue. I want some revenge. Quick bandage toss on to Jarvan. Keeps him still just for a second. Kill time for NVM to come on down, but will be deterred. No blue buff at all for Jarvan in these first opening minutes.
Yeah, so Jarvan really putting himself behind here, and Jarvan's not the fastest jungler. He needs that quick. He needs that quick Madreds in order to clear. So we'll see how long it takes him to get that. Mumu's definitely pulling ahead right now. It's going to be interesting to see. I do think it's interesting though the items we're seeing in the top lane, because they're not really Season 3 items or what we've come to expect.
No.
Kha'Zix, it's a little bit more common to go with bottle and just a bunch of potions for that farm. Aurelia, on the other hand, going with the armor so that she can duel with Kha'Zix a little more. He has a lot of quick burst damage.
He does.
And so far, Leah has actually been pretty aggressive in that lane, pushing Aurelia into the turret, trying to get a farm advantage there.
Right. But Leah's doing that push because he knows as soon as Aurelia hits 6, the wave clear it can be pushed back with the Aurelia ultimate, and once Aurelia hits 9, that sustain may actually be enough to overtake the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, it's Aurelia is tanky enough. One of the great counters to Kha'Zix in lane, at least, is those bruisers that have a decent amount of HP, because Kha'Zix, he has a lot of damage, but he blows through his whole combo and just doesn't have enough for follow-up if you get, like a quick Giant's Belt or something. That's one of the reasons Olaf does very well, but he has a lot of damage. When you have his Q max, it's actually like 400 damage, so it's an absurd amount. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this lane. A lot of it's probably going to come from those jungle ganks, to try and set it up. But I actually wouldn't be that surprised. I think that could turn into a just passive farm lane.
It could be, and we'll see. We'll see once both the champs hit 6. Aurelia will have the wave clear. Leah's going to have the wave clear. It may just be a clear fest. Hey, let's just meet in the middle. Let's go. Let's reconvene in the middle every 30 seconds or so. We'll watch all the minions melt. It'll be awesome. It'll be a great time. I'll get you drinks. We'll see what happens.
Leah baiting in darkness.
Oh, pinged. Just barely spotted. Going over into that brush. Darkness cleared the wave.
That was honestly just bad luck.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Because what happened was Kha'Zix, he was a little bit too far forward, and the reason that Aurelia was able to see him was Darkness jumped onto Leah in order to get some harass, and when she used her Blade Surge to get in there, that's when the vision happened.
Right.
And that actually could have been a good opportunity for Amumu to jump in, but he wasn't ready yet to bandage toss, so he didn't really find that opportunity. He's still hanging out up there. He doesn't realize that Aurelia had seen him.
Yeah, Hallelujah. I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised he didn't just straight out take the wolves. But this is around that time when still got another minute or so until that blue buff is. Well, actually, no, it's the delayed blue buff. I think there's realizing that now. Just like, hey, that was a bit of a late pull. So there's still a good 2, maybe even 3 minutes until the Titans blue respawns.
There's not a lot of ward coverage for these teams yet, though. Cassiopeia did drop a ward down mid, but if Jarvan found an opportunity bot, he could maybe work it. The only issue is Blitz is too tanky and Ezreal's too safe. So there's not a lot that they can do there. They really just want to allow Lyle to farm down in that bot lane.
Right.
But we'll see what happens.
If perchance though Xerxes does get a pull onto Vayne, I mean she is quite squishy. And VM with a dual air in the mid. Choi is on the brunt end of the Cassiopeia ult, temporarily turned to stone, and that was more than enough to get the chunk onto the wizard. Very well done by NVM, and I think Choi is reconsidering his dueling options. Like, I thought I had more power than that.
Well, Cass's burst is insane, and being able to get that stun, they have to watch out for that Blitz pull. It's pretty close, actually, but they're getting really great harass. One more attack, not able to get the proc onto Ezreal, but Cassiopeia taking an early lead there. Amumu also warding on the red, so he wants to be really aggressive. We'll see what NBD can do in there.
Yeah, we'll see. And there's still the red was the only buff that SGS has a definitive timer on. So Titans, they're doing a good job just to make sure that you have a tab on that. We'll see if NDD goes for that invade, though, when the time comes around. Hook down bot lane. No combo, no uppercut to keep up with it, and the condemn into the wall keeps the Blitz from doing so.
Well, he knew that if he had comboed onto Nunu, then Vayne would be in a good situation to get some free damage. Vayne did get the free damage, but he held on to the knockup to try and chase down Vayne, and Vayne just did a good job with the condemn there.
Yep.
So it's tough. I mean, Vayne is very strong as a laner, if played correctly. We'll kind of see if they can pick her off, but Nunu generally provides a lot of protection.
So on the back, after the death, Ryze did pick up a tier for himself, and I'm hoping that's that Muramana Manamune combo coming in too. Leah on the tail end of the ultimate from Darkness, taking a lot of harass, brought down very low, about 150 health.
He's hanging out too. He wants to keep farming. He knows there's a big wave coming in. This is going to be really dangerous because Darkness could really quickly pick up a kill here.
He's drinking his last potion 2. Actually, he decided to just put 1 in each hand. He's got 2 on the queue, actually, on the way to go.
going to go in for it.
This is risky. This is very
just
risky.
a little bit
but
too much health on Leah.
And the wave clear, remember, too, that those spikes also do give some health back to Kha'Zix. So he's got that going for him, at least. And he's already back up to health. But Darkness, though, I think at this point has a little bit more regen and staying around in the brush. Leah correctly being apprehensive. Nice slow from Darkness, pushing back the Kha'Zix. Wants to get the wave to the tower, wants to try to deny as much as possible from Kha'Zix.
Yeah, Kha'Zix is doing an okay job with that heal, though, so he's farming pretty effectively. Kha'Zix, once he gets his items in the mid-game, is just a monster. He can be unstoppable. And the cool thing about Kha'Zix is you don't really need much in order to do a lot of damage. Black Cleaver and Last Whisper, generally, is enough for you to take down an AD carry, like one shot in AD carry in team fights. And then after that, you can get like a Bloodthirst or something, but you can also itemize into a quick Warmogs, where you can be really aggressive. The only concern is, if he doesn't have any help on the Vayne, whether he can take down Vayne by himself, because Vayne's going to have the support of Nunu, which is going to shut down Kha'Zix to a large extent. So if he can't insta-kill Vayne, then that could quickly turn around against them in fights. Yep.
And we may see Vayne join the Warmogs Club. That'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I mean, it could work. It's really strong right now.
Yeah.
It provides a lot more safety than like a GA does, and it allows you to be aggressive on those short range 80 carries. Hallelujah, coming down from the top. He was considering going in on Kha'Zix.
Yeah.
Maybe forcing something there. Lai not actually getting the combo there on skills, but still, even without it, getting a lot of damage, even without getting those 3 procs.
This is a lot of time.
Though.
Yeah, this is a lot of time for Zerius to not be with his AD down bot. The very least, skills is getting a bit of a experience boost, not having to split it with his support, but it's just it's that comfort of having a big robot right by your side.
Well, that's the scary thing for the Titans right now, is they're not putting a lot of pressure on these really strong late game carries for SGS. There's no pressure on Vayne at all.
Yeah.
They're just really struggling with it. And Amumu, he's a burst, jungler, but the question is, will they have enough burst down bot if he can combo? And I think they do if he comes down bot, but he hasn't really been going for any aggressive ganks yet. Just making sure he hits 6, making sure he continues to clear effectively. I think he's probably trying to rush, a quick tanky item. So that's why he's focusing so much on farm right now.
And there's about 1,000. Actually, there is 1,000 gold lead here for the Titans over on the Sentinels, and nearly all of it is on Cassiopeia from that earlier kill, and also a pretty decent farm lead. 20 creeps up, so it's essentially kill number 2.
Oh, hallelujah.
with a standard over the wall into the brush, goes unseen. Vanish toss in, Curse the Sad Mummy, getting still both members of the Sentinels up here top lane. Darkness is weak, but Hallelujah not so much so, at least
Rise
not for now. Rise is coming on up. The Titans know they had their opportunity, and the opportunity is gone. So they back off before Rise can ever make his appearance.
Well, they didn't lose anything there, but they were hoping that they could maybe snowball Kha'Zix if they get some quick kills there. Almost worked out for them. They were very low, just not quite enough follow-up. And, once Amumu, once his CC's done, he just kind of stands there and cries. So that's one of the big issues with Amumu, is if you can't pick up those burst kills, then he doesn't have the follow-up.
Nice hook on the Kai Ling here in the bot lane. Condemn, keeping Ezreal back, but it's not enough. Nunu's too far deep to do anything about it. Very nice grab from Zerius.
Yeah, that's really nice in between the minions now, and now they can bully around Vayne. So now that Nunu's out of there, but Jarvan's actually hanging out bot, so wants to see if they're going to dive this. If they dive this, then he can respond.
This could be huge, and his ultimate is up. If one of the Titans starts taking turret shots, that Cataclysm can keep them behind. That's effectively a third person in the fight too with that tower. But he's waiting for his moment. The small golems have respawned, so he's keeping himself busy. He's like, I know I need to wait. I'm holding my number for my sandwich. Just waiting till my number's up until I engage on this.
Oh, he's still hanging down bot. Wants to make sure if they go in on Vayne. Now he's going to follow up. Not quite sure that they have enough damage here, so they will just back off.
Yeah, he just the range was just not there. If he was like an inch or two more onto that step of Jarvan, Zerius would have been caught in the Cataclysm underneath turret. That could have been a free shot or two. That could have been a dead blitz, but Zerius, those big feet, a few steps ahead of that Jarvan.
And the Titans trying to get that blue. Rise had taken it himself, so really nice play. They knew that Jarvan was bot, which would usually mean that blue is open, but Rise, knowing that Jarvan was going bot, he went and was proactive there to make sure he got it. Darkness in a really bad spot here, though. He's almost surely going to go down.
Amumu ult is not up, but you do have the man advantage for the Titans. Nice Cassiopeia ult, quickly melting the Aurelia here top lane, but seeing as the Titans are all here in the top lane, that is a cue for the Sentinels to go for a dragon for free.
Yeah, they're still going to take a lot of damage, but they are going to be able to grab that. They have to watch out that Blitz doesn't maybe hook Vayne. That could be really scary for them, particularly since Ezreal, his ult is not up yet, but it will be up shortly. So not able to get anything. The Dragon goes down. The turret goes down up top. So the Titans are still able to keep that gold lead.
Yeah. Turret, a tier 1 turret for a Dragon is actually a decent trade, but there is still the 1 kill that the Titans picked up. So the gold lead,
great play from SGS here.
Nice. You have to be assertive here. They're recognizing that there are still people up there in top lane recalling. They have to take time to do it. No, the grab, not getting the Nunu, unfortunately. But that is a tier 1 in mid down to half. If the pressure continues from the Sentinels, that will go down very quickly.
I feel like the Titans actually could have made a play there by just jumping on them with the Amumu ult, but they didn't want to risk anything. They tried to get the Blitz hook, weren't able to hit anyone, so they will back off. They put themselves in a really good situation, considering that they have such a strong AoE team, to just win this game by team fights later on. So they don't have to risk anything right now, and so that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the Titans, even though they're ahead, they're not making any scary plays or anything like that,
right?
Because they don't need to. They can just sit back comfortably, allow Kha'Zix to farm, and see what happens later.
Yeah, the Titans have recognized that they've made very small leads, and you see this a lot too from teams that aggressively push towers. They want to get good tower or two down in the first few minutes, is that they tend to make a lot of safer plays because it's a very fragile lead. A 2k, 1k lead can be gone in one team fight.
Zeri's looking for a pull. They do have the good ward vision there. There's no vision from Chari. There's the hook right underneath the follow-up.
Pulled up over the wall. Curse the Sad Mummy keeps him still. Cassiopeia from over the forest wall. All that poison melts the Rise.
Goes down very, very quickly. And you saw, because they're not trying to force that many kills, they're guaranteeing the ones they can get.
Right.
Amumu used his ultimate there. Maybe not necessary, but it prevents the flash from going off. It just guarantees the kill. And, going overboard on it is, it's always the right decision when you're trying to just nurse a small lead. NDD coming down bot won't have the follow-up. So he forces Vayne back a little bit, but not really a big threat there. But they're slowly just gaining. So it's 2K right now. So really impressive play from the Titans.
And what by securing that kill, by ensuring that they keep the Rise down. It's an 0-2 Rise versus a 3-0 Cassiopeia. And that 2k lead, we mentioned last time we talked about the lead that a lot of it was on Cassiopeia, and it still stands true. 1,500 of that 2k lead is all on Cass. Oh my god,
Yeah,
I wish that
hook
I
was
wish that
really
hook hit.
close.
Oh, that was extremely close. But Zeri's, his positioning is actually very sound in these hooks. It just happens to be a few inches off.
Yeah, it's just barely not able to grab those, but it's still a dangerous spot for them. I do think it's interesting that Vayne got the Shiv first, so that's pretty strong. They have to watch out here. Vayne could maybe fall down to Blitz. They're in a good position to get this hook.
Oh, hook landing onto Nunu. The ultimate actually used and down immediately. Zeri's wisely flashing out of the Jarvan pop-up, and Skills has to use his to escape the Cataclysm. Blitz is down. Skills has to defend turret on his own, and as is still
Aurelia's
a very weak
trying to come in on Cass too. There's the flash rise.
Uses to kill the Nunu down bot lane, and Cassiopeia ult used once again. The Rise goes down for his third death of the game, but a shutdown coming in from Darkness onto the Cass. That's a lot of gold from a 4-kill streak going onto the top laner of the Sentinels.
And Darkness, realizing that Amumu is coming, had to get out of there. The flash from Leah, though, gets the slow. There's the bandage toss. Will go down. The ward actually gets over to the minions, the wolves. If he dies to the wolves there, he does. That was very close, though. Almost making a big play there.
A for effort.
Yeah, but does go down anyway, and the Titans are doing a really nice job with this game. Ezreal, getting that ultimate off, I thought that he could get it off sooner. Like he knew he had enough damage on Nunu, but he prioritized getting out of there. So he didn't throw off his ultimate when he was in the middle of them.
Yeah.
He waited until he could get back to safety and use his flash and whatnot, and then went for the late ult. But really nice play from both teams.
Yep, he used the ult when he had proper vision of the Nunu in the brush. It was warded. He knew he was staying still. He was like, okay, good. Safe play. I know I'm not going to waste this ult. I know I'm going to get something with it. Very well done.
NDD going for the steal. He bandage toss over, but he's in a dangerous spot here. It is going to be a 4v2, though. Aurelia's coming up, but the rest of the Titans are here as well. But it seems he's going to be safe. Skills dropping, though, without the help of Blitz. Getting caught out of position, which is surprising on Ezreal to be caught that far out.
Jarvan does still get his own blue, though. Very well done.
Yeah, really nice play from Hallelujah. I mean, we've seen, he's looked very strong in the games that we've seen from SGS, and Vayne's farming as well. So 2-0 on Vayne, along with decent farm at this point. Actually, pretty good farm. 170, a slight advantage in the farm on the Titans, but I don't know, there's still a really good opportunity here from SGS.
Zeri's caught out, has to force the silence pop-up from Jarvan, keeps everyone away just for a moment, forces the Cassiopeia ult to be used to, but all 5 members of the Sentinels have now gathered here in mid to surround the Blitz and dance around his robotic corpse. The push continues. That tower is brought down to half earlier, and now all the Sentinels are here to help finish the job. A few quick swipes, and that is a
and
tier 1
he's going to go for the bandage
gone.
toss, though. He has his ultimate.
There's the bandage, waiting for the bandage. Can it happen? No. The minions is like, hey, minions, I like those.
I'm surprised he didn't just bandage onto the minions. It would have brought him in range of Vayne, and they could have killed Vayne there. But holding back a little bit, it is still a safe play. Vayne still has to watch out, though. They could still force this.
Tower for tower at the very least. So the Titans, the lead that they had, the 2K lead, is now hanging on by a few short threads. There's only a few hundred gold difference now between these two teams because of the aggressive organization from the Sentinels. First at their own blue, now all the way over into mid to take out that tower. Dragon has now respawned. The Titans are in a great position for it, but there are so many wards from the Sentinels. They have every single move
Rise
from the Titans on lockdown.
They have good vision of Rise right now with their wards. They are going to take this, and if Rise gets caught out, no, he's going to back off. So you see the Titans just barely keeping on to that lead. The Sentinels almost taking control of that, but really conservative play from the Titans. They know they have a really good team fight team. So mid to late, it's going to be very strong for them. So they don't want to blow it right now by just making a couple of mistakes. They do have to watch out for how well farmed SGS is becoming, but it should be interesting to see. Both teams are positioning themselves very well. I am curious to see what Vayne can do, though, because Vayne, before the Season 3 patch, was one of the strongest AD carries in the game, and that late game Vayne was just absurd. But now, assassins like Kha'Zix put a lot of pressure onto Vayne. It's going to be tough to keep her alive. Nunu helps. But you also have to consider all of the nerfs to the AD items really hurt Vayne. It hurt all the AD champions, but Vayne in particular, considering how hard of a nerf Phantom Dancer took.
Hallelujah now in top lane, wants to engage on Aaliyah, but here's NDD. The bandage toss will not hit its mark. Ezreal ult limboing between the two members limbo between his two teammates. There's no one there for it to hit.
They're all grouping,
just in
but
case.
They're leading Vayne bot. So SGS is grouping up here. They can maybe force a fight, or at least force the Titans to deal with them, and then Vayne is soloing bot. Blitz is going to be there.
Oh, nice timing on the stun right as Kha'Zix backed. Ezreal, you thought your teammate had your back, but alas, that is not the case. Tier 1 in top gone. Bot lane being pushed. Also, Zeri's the only one defending here. NVM has to fend off this 4-man push just on his own for a few more moments. Kha'Zix now here. Amumu also on the side with the ultimate up.
But Vayne's left alone again. Blitz leaves Vayne, so Vayne's going to be able to push as long as they can get out of here. If they get tracked down, though, BKT's going to win this.
Nice
There's the bandage
flash.
toss.
Where's the ultimate? Give it a second. No, the Root Prism keeps him behind.
Oh,
the tail right on the edge. The edge of the curse keeps Rise behind. That is a familiar spot.
I didn't think he was in it. That was just barely in range. But it's one kill for a number of abilities, and Vayne gets the turret. So that's a safe trade for them. But SGS, they're putting the pressure on the map where they're forcing BKT to make decisions. And it's interesting. I almost thought that SGS was going to pull away right there because BKT wasn't forcing the fights with the Amumu like they needed to. But we'll see if they can fight here. Rise being down does put SGS at a big disadvantage. This turret's dropped.
Rise being down and Vayne still in the bot lane, and only now just recalled, cannot get back to mid soon enough to keep that turret from going down. Tier 2 in mid being taken out by the Titans. Pings going down onto the bot tier 1 that's still left standing. Ezreal Skills has to deal with the farm, all the creeps backed up, and Sentinels have now regrouped with themselves in the mid. Darkness taking out that farm in mid, and Vayne traveling not so far away from the Nunu. They will Xerxes has no idea how close he was to that Vayne, just edging a route through the jungle.
Yeah, well, I think he knew, considering he had vision of him, but just confidently teleporting. That's the confidence of a strong Blitzcrank. So he backs off.
The strong steel of his strong construction.
Yeah, it's sturdy. It's sturdy. It's rusty.
It's rusty, but it's still good.
Some old parts. But Bane's still pushing down bot. So, kind of surprising. They allow, or that Titans isn't forcing any objectives here, because it's just allowing Vayne to keep on farming, which is really scary for them coming into the late game. Titans, they really need to just make a big play. They have the team to do it. They're just concerned that they're going to blow it, and they're going to force one hard initiation and then blow it. So we'll see if they try anything.
Xerxes does not get popped up, but is still in pursuit from Hallelujah. Xerxes just bought that Oracle's too. You do not want to lose it so soon after using it. Still, the push from Sentinels continues into mid. Vayne still off onto her own devices in the bot lane. And Ezreal grabbed the red and should be returning to mid with that.
When you have a split push, you really need to just force a hard engage, and the Titans have the team to do it. Amumu's ult is up again, so they need to either pick off Vayne or force a fight 4v5 at the mid, and it looks like they're going to be trying to push mid.
The creeps not too far behind, but there is still some decent wave clear.
Well.
Aurelia ult is up, going to be using that straight away to clear off the minions, to at least deflect the initial push. Xerxes with the Oracles clears the ward off on the side wall, and there's some minion support still present from the Titans, but not enough for full-out engage, at least not now.
Vayne's back now, so it's a full 5v5. Blitzcrank's very good at sieging turrets, just with a quick hook, so they can still pressure them. But it is kind of a concern that it maybe stalls off, that they might have to force a fight into this turret, which they don't really want to do, considering how tanky SGS is.
Yep. There's still some decent wave clear, and the Aurelia ult is also almost back up. It's level 2, so the cooldown is reduced, and still some Blade Surge action there, just grabbing those last hits, minimizing the time the Titans can use for his push, and look, minimal damage onto the mid tier 3. Also fantastic defense coming in from the Sentinels.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of stalling them. They have decent wave clearing. A lot of it comes from the static Shiv, actually, which is interesting to give that wave clearing to an auto attacker like Vayne.
And why not?
But we'll see what's going to happen here. SGS making their way up to the Baron, though. There's no vision from the Titans, and they have the Oracles. So SGS knows there's no vision, but the Titans, they might actually go for this inhibitor if they happen to guess that SGS is over there. We'll see. It looks like a free Baron right now.
Yeah, the only vision that the Titans had was Aurelia in the top lane.
Darkness is going to be able to stall the mid. They're not going to be able to get there in time.
Yeah, they just have vision on Aurelia. They have the assumption that everyone from the Sentinels is actually just off in their own base. But there, a Baron sneak from the Sentinels, and once they get vision of Aurelia, they know there's that purple halo. They know where the Sentinels have been this entire time. Cassiopeia melts immediately, being found. Mumu has to use the ultimate just in defense. Cataclysm coming on in, trapping himself, trapping everybody in. The Titans just melt in the Sentinels jungle. Skills caught out in the top tri-brush, cannot escape here. No shift over the wall. You have been rooted. Ace for the Sentinels. Wonderful job.
Well, it's just that BKT, they don't have the vision that they need to force fights, and that's the strength of that Oracle. So even though Oracles was nerfed, it still has its place. It's not a must-buy every game now, but because they know that they can't get picked off by the Titans, if the Titans pick them off, then it's GG. SGS can just, or the Titans can win a quick fight. But SGS has great single-target focus. When they're on the offensive, they're going to win those fights. And the Titans, with no vision whatsoever, assumed that they were in the lead there, assumed that SGS was sitting in their base.
Yeah, but you know what happens when you assume you get aced. That's exactly what happens. Mumu melting, Cassiopeia gone, Rise with a quick double in the base of the Titans. Xerxes going down, made quick work of the robot, Vayne taking that one. The Sentinels, just all of a sudden, was a very gold-wise, even game for most of the time, have just with a quick Baron sneak, turned the tides completely. Prism on to the Kazakhs, has to leap away. Quick surge onto Skills, and he's down to 2/3.
Well, that was really a half-hearted attempt from the Titans to force a fight there. Mumu's ult was down. They tried to engage 3v5, even though some of the members of SGS were kind of low. A couple of them dying, it gives SGS more time to take advantage. They're going to be able to get into turret here because the Titans forced a fight when they were out of position, and that's really scary. Really quickly, this game has just snowballed in SGS's favor.
Ezreal ult ineffective in clearing the entire wave and keeping the Sentinels off the tier 3 and bot, but recognizing that all of the Titans have respawned, do decide to play. No, they're not playing it safe. They're camping out the brush because they know that Titans are coming. Jarvan ult straight to the back line. Cataclysm onto Cassiopeia in the back. Ezreal the first one to go. Mumu to follow right quick. Triple kill for the Vayne. Quadra kill following it up. There's NVM.
He's going for it.
High.
No,
going the
too
distance.
slow.
Can he grab it? Shut down though. Cassiopeia poison backwards prevents Vayne from getting the full penta, but there's Rise Choi in the back end to follow it up with the ace. Fantastic work, and the Sentinels looks they've got great pushing power here. The super
Darkness
minis
is like,
are pushing.
come on, guys, why are you backing?
Yeah.
Look at how long their death timers are right now. But it's a safe play from SGS.
It is a safe play, yes.
They probably only would have gotten about one turret. They would have gotten one turret for sure. Like, there's no question about it. But then maybe, Xerxes can chase them down, force a fight or something when they're out of position. So they just go back by,
Right.
good God, the Warmogs have taken over.
Two
on Jarvan, one on Aurelia, one on Rise. They're all incredibly tanky. Vayne is building a Warmogs. We were asking about that earlier, so that is happening. So they're just really strong all in all.
Dude, Hallelujah is just trolling right now. You got just two of them.
BKT, they put themselves in a good situation this game. You can see, though, like, some of the, talent is there.
Yeah.
They have some nice mechanics in their team. They really just, didn't force the fights that they needed to, didn't force the objectives they needed to. The team play aspect was really lacking in this game. So it'll be interesting to see, how they continue to develop as a team.
No.
But SGS clearly in a lot more control as far as map presence.
I think after seeing Hallelujah by 2, I think some of that health needs. I think the entire item needs to be a unique passive. Actually, that's just unfair. That's just straight out unfair.
But you can't get a unique passive on the stats because that would just suck.
That would just it would. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of bitter at seeing two of them built on a Jarvan. I don't know. Maybe it's just Hallelujah.
Yeah, no, the item does need changes because all of the nerfs to the AD items, it makes it difficult for AD carries. Generally, in the past, AD carries are the ones that take down the Warmogs guy.
Hallelujah does not care if he gets grabbed. He's got way too much health at this point. A Mumu ult keeping the Sentinel still for just a second in the top tier 3, but will be the first to go down. Cataclysm keeping the Titans still in one neat package. But Darkness, well, what will we do? He does go down in the middle of that fight. Pop up from Jarvan. Hallelujah keeping everyone behind. Xerxes could not get a hook into the fountain, and that is a 2 for 4. The super minis are in the base. The Sentinels are all here. A Blitzcrank cannot defend this alone. This is game for the Sentinels.
Yeah, GG, really impressive play, and it's that forward aggressive team that protected their uber late game carries in both Vayne and Rise, so they're able to win that. But for the most part, they just played a safe game, and then, were able to catch out the Titans. That one Baron. They had the Oracles, they walked up, they dropped some wards, they were like, guys, there's no wards here. All right, let's just kind of do it. So they just went for the Baron. They took it really quickly. They were able to win the fight after that, catching Cassiopeia out of position. And from then, it was all over. There was never a team fight from the Titans, which is the surprising thing, because they had a really strong AoE team, and they never, almost the entire game, had that good fight where they just initiate with a Mumu, force all this AoE, and so that was the surprising thing. You never quite saw what their comp was capable of. But really impressive play from the Sentinels. Yeah, and splitting off Vayne for a lot of the game. Get her farmed. That split push, it slowed down the Titans. It made them a little bit anxious there, but really nice play.
Yep. Well, usually, like what you'll see in comps that have like a Kha'Zix, you usually see someone else who can dive with them. You usually see a dive buddy because you saw that he was leaping like towards the back line, or at least at the very least trying to get some of it. Cassiopeia, very short range, has to stay in front of the fight. Amumu needs to stay in the middle of the fight, and Ezreal on the back end, everything with Blitz is kind of like everyone just lined up. And there was really like no major points of contention. If SGS took down anyone in that part of the chain, everything falls apart.
Yeah, no, it was interesting to see what SGS was able to do, particularly the single target with Vayne and Rise. But we'll see, guys. We're going to have a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We're going to check out some more games. AJ, once again, what's coming up?
Big one coming up. Everyone's favorte Type A Assassins going up against the Saigon Jokers.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Snipers for a second.
The different league.
Yeah. But we'll be able to check that out, guys. It's going to be a cool game. Assassins, heavy favorites, though. It's going to be interesting.
We'll be back in just a little bit.